I'm Sean, otherwise known throughout the video as Mike McEconomy.
I'm Sarah, otherwise known as The Caller.
And today we're going to be trying to explain some economic indicators using a bit of a radio talk show format. But there's also going to be a few interjections from actually us. Welcome to the Economic Radio Talk Show question block. We are now taking questions. Question number 1 from caller number 7.
Hey Mike, I was wondering, what's the unemployment rate?
That's a very good question. You see, the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate is a measure of how many people who are trying to get work cannot get work. This does not include people like the retired, or homeless people who aren't trying to get work, or bums. But it does include people who applied at Burger King and then failed to get a job at Burger King.
The unemployment rate is collected by the BLS every month.
BLS, of course, stands for Bureau of Labor and Statistics. The people who are included in the numbers taken for the unemployment rate are people who are employed, who have jobs, like, say, teachers, fast food workers, that sort of thing. It also includes people who are, of course, not employed but trying to get a job within the past week of the survey.
People not included in the unemployment rate are people that are retired, children, or in jail.
Another segment of the economic question talk show on Economy Radio. I'm your host, Mike McEconomy. We're taking a question from caller number 8.
Hey Mike, I was wondering, what is the difference between consumer price index and inflation?
That's a very good question. You see, consumer price index uses a specific basket of goods, things like milk and butter and other things that you usually use in a household, and compares the prices of those items from year to year. Inflation does something very similar, except they're different items. The inflation rate and the consumer price index can be very easily mistaken for one another. Even Google mistakes them. When I looked up the CPI, consumer price index, over the past 10 years, Google gave me as the first result the inflation rate over the past 10 years. Block, this time today has been extended. We're taking yet another question from caller number 12. What's your question, caller?
Hey Mike, what does bankruptcy indicate about the economy?
That's a very good question. You see, bankruptcy can indicate, it really depends on what the bankruptcy looks like. If there are a lot of people filing for bankruptcy, then, well, it generally means that people cannot make enough money to support whatever debts they accrued. Well, if there's not very much bankruptcy, that means people are making enough money to pay off their own debts, which means that the economy is doing pretty well. But if there's a high rate of bankruptcy, the economy ain't doing so hot. The next thing we're going to talk about here as an economic indicator is sales of products and services, and this time we're going to forgo the radio talk show bit. So what are sales of products and services?
Well, the better the sales, the better the economy's doing, and the worse the sales, the less sales, the worse the economy's doing.
Right, that is what is known as a direct relationship. If it were a graph, it would be a straight line, sales, economic health, it would be a straight line up, a straight line down.
What are we doing?
We're going to start this. Alright, so the first in economic... We're going to explain the unemployment rate.
Okay, bye.
The unemployment rate is collected by the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Okay. Wait, I'm just going to give myself time for recording. Welcome to the Economic Radio Show Talk Question Block with me, your host, Mike McEconomy. We're taking a question from caller number 8.
Hey Mike, I was wondering, what's the difference between the consumer rate?
Retaking that. Alright, the next economic indicator we're going to talk about is the sales of products and services and what that means. You know what that means? Apparently she doesn't. Okay. So the sales of your products and services.
Why'd you ask?